Assalamu alaikum, ladies, and welcome to the Balance and Thrive podcast session that we have for you today. And it's about this topic that is connected to sleep during Ramadan because it's such a big change that happens for the body. And you do end up feeling like you are jet lagged. And do you just remember how that feels? If anyone has traveled recently, and that feeling of like that deep sense of tiredness, you can't seem to function, you just want to eat rubbish, or you're craving sugar, or you're feeling like you just could just take a nap at all these weird times of the day. Well, for a lot of women, that's exactly how they feel through Ramadan. Okay. And according to a study that was done in the Sleep Medicine Review, which is like a journal of clinical sleep medicine studies and trials and this kind of thing. What they found was that women tend to have more of a need
Being
for
tired
sleep.
in Ramadan. Okay. So
Yeah.
those things how to. For so many women, this is how Ramadan feels. You're tired all the time.
So, according to Sleep Medicine Reviews, which is a study um, of sleeping patterns, women have more of a need to sleep than men, right? Women actually need around 30 minutes to 1 hour more. Hard to believe, I know, right? Because it's women that tend to report having more disrupted sleep, more lighter sleep, more broken sleep for a number of things, right? From the kids, from the hormones, from overthinking, from future worrying, whatever it is, right? Now, if you add to this situation something like Ramadan, and you've got this sleep debt already, this is a recipe for an extremely exhausted woman. If this is the first time you're joining the Balance and Thrive podcast session, ahlan, welcome. We try to hold these sessions once every 2 weeks, exclusively for Balance and Thrive members. My name is Faria and I'm your host. And I have a goal this year to help at least 100 women feel more energetic, less exhausted, and less like their 80-year-old grandma. And that's going to be through my unique energy expansion system. I've helped last year at least 50 women plus, alhamdulillah, really change their lives, improve their health across the board. And here's just a little disclaimer before we start. The information that's provided for you today is for educational purposes only. It's not intended to diagnose or cure. If you do have a serious medical concern, please reach out to a qualified practitioner. So there's something that women experience, and maybe it's silently, maybe they just blame themselves in this process, but they often think, why am I so tired in Ramadan? Why does it feel like I haven't slept at all? Why does my ibadah feel heavy? When you're a wife and a mother, or you've just got a busy schedule anyway, that already fills our day with a lot for us to be getting on with, a lot that keeps us busy. And when Ramadan comes, these things hit us harder because we focus so much on the wrong kind of prep. And if this has always been a struggle for you, then just realize that it's not a personal failure, like every time Ramadan comes, everything messes up, right? It isn't because your iman is low. It's just something that we've honestly never been told to do or to prepare for, right? We prepare for all kinds of things, alhamdulillah, for marriage, for exams, even motherhood in some ways, right? But this event where the reward can be 83 years of worship, we just don't give it its dues. And especially in the realm of motherhood, because it needs a level of preparation so that we don't feel overwhelmed and exhausted, right? No one has actually sat us down, given us a class on like, hey, in Ramadan, things change. In Ramadan, this is what happens to your body, but this is what you need to do to prepare. No one's told us this. And in this blessed month, a number of shifts happen to our routines that are connected around food, routines around movement, responsibilities, expectations, and sleep. And all of these things happen all at once. So today, you're not going to hear that standard advice or just nap a little bit more, or maybe just sleep less even because Ramadan is temporary, or just keep pushing through, the reward is in sight, right? We're going to do something a little bit deeper. We're going to give you that understanding, right? Because for a lot of us, if you think about it, you don't make a change because you don't think it's a problem. You're just not aware, right? So that awareness is so important. And then reclaiming the system designed to help you get into a flow. Then we also want to focus on protecting your energy so that you can make that ibadah that you want for your akhirah, inshallah. Because us showing up for our ibadah is not meant to come, it's never meant to come from a depleted version of you. So today, I'm going to break down as simply as possible how you can heal this in 2 easy steps. So stay tuned, inshallah, till the very end. If it feels like for you, every time Ramadan comes in, that your sleep is so messed up, the truth is that Ramadan doesn't actually break your sleep. It breaks your body's sense of timing. Most women think that the problem is just the hours, right? Okay, if I just got a few more hours of sleep, I know I'd feel better, right? But the body doesn't run on timers like that. Your body clock runs on signals because your hormones don't need to ask, oh, how many hours of sleep did you have? That's not what they're concerned about. They are more concerned about the quality and timing of the light that you're under, the quality and the proportion of your nutrient intake, how you're feeling emotionally. Do you even feel safe enough to rest? When those signals become inconsistent, the body enters a low grade alert mode. Because all of that confusion in the signals translates as chaos in the body. Chaos is inflammation. Now, let's break this down. Because if we understand what sleep really needs, we can go and fix those 2 areas, inshallah. And your sleep is controlled mainly by 2 systems. One of them is your circadian rhythm. Okay, so this is your internal body clock, and it is controlled primarily by light exposure, not bedtime. Okay, so scientific studies have shown that when you get light exposure during the day, specifically in the morning, this anchors your cortisol and it gives your body a lot of what it needs for recovery, and it helps to build the systems that make you feel more energetic. The other side of the coin is also darkness. That is going to trigger melatonin, right? Melatonin is, yes, the sleep hormone, but it's also the healing hormone. Studies in chronobiology consistently show that light timing matters more than sleep duration. Okay, so the timing of your light is going to impact your sleep more than the amount of hours you are sleeping, especially if you're looking at the quality of your sleep, if you're looking at how you feel in terms of your mood and your overall metabolic health. Now, in Ramadan, this system goes upside down because we start our day with unnatural light exposure, right? We're up at suhoor, need to get around, need to see what we're doing. It's still dark outside. We're under artificial lights. Okay. And then you're sleeping after Fajr. You're getting up late-ish, right? Maybe sometimes if you've got small kids, not always the case, but you do miss a lot of the morning. And you've eaten maybe not what's ideal for the body. So you have that feeling of heaviness when you get up, and grogginess, and maybe even like dehydration, like at the start of the day, and you think, oh God, if I feel like this now, what's the rest of the day going to look like? And then as soon as Maghrib hits, right, it's bright lights, and maybe even brighter lights at Taraweeh, right, in the masjids. Your body has to take on that onslaught. Just got to deal with it. And in all of that, your poor brain is asking, is it morning now? Or is it night now? Should I be alert or should I be resting? And for a full 30 days, it gets no clear answer. That's relentless on the system. Okay. The second system that controls if you sleep well or not is your nervous system. And sisters hardly ever prepare this system before Ramadan comes in. There's just no time for it, there's no concern for it, right? But every single day and every single night, your nervous system is asking this one core question: am I safe? And in Ramadan, with everything else that's going on, it's more sensitive to hunger signals, sleep disruption, social obligations, the emotional load, that pressure and that guilt to do more, and you're struggling with it. If the body feels that it's under so much demand, and yet that demand isn't being supported, then that is going to 100% show up in your sleep. That's when you'll notice, oh, my sleep is light. Keep waking up often. It's fragmented. It feels unrefreshing. This doesn't always have to do that with the fact that maybe your body's weak. Okay, this is biology. The body is just doing what it's designed to do, right? And we always say the body responds to its environment. Think about it this way, sisters. Imagine for the next 30 days, 30 nights, yeah, you've got guests. What would you be doing? Right? There'd be So much planning involved in that. So much preparation involved in that, right? The meals, what we're going to be having. Okay, I don't want to repeat the same thing over and over, or I need to get this in for the shopping, need to make the decor, whatever it would be, right? You'll make sure that your kitchen is fully stocked, right? You're going to sit down and you're going to plan those meals well, right? You're going to be thinking about like dishes and okay, how we're going to be doing the washing and make sure that there's a system there, right? You might even do a bit of batch cooking in advance, keeping some sauces ready, whatever it is, right? But you're definitely going to be planning. You would never ever wait until everyone's arrived and then say, okay, right, okay, let's prep now. But most women enter Ramadan like this. The cupboards are half empty. There's already plates in there from yesterday, needing washing up. There's no meal plan, and they're already tired. So when Ramadan starts, it's not the fact that Ramadan has made you feel overwhelmed, it's that the load increased, but your systems didn't. You didn't do any prep, but miraculously, we expect to be feeling ready. But this year, inshallah, it's going to be different. As you know, I just don't want these sessions to be something where you're turning up and having info in your ear, right? Because you take in enough information. Now you need to act. We are weeks away from Ramadan, but that is still enough time to have a positive impact for the month ahead, inshallah. You can still feel a difference if you start making the changes now. And that's what I want these sessions to be, ladies, that you come away and you start making a change in your life. If you've been listening in to our past podcast sessions and you are in my group and inshallah you have started to do these things already. If not, start now. Because the first step in improving your sleep is to get your light right. Appreciate the fact that in Ramadan it's going to get impacted. Okay? You don't need your sleep to be perfect. You need to make sure that your body has clear signals. So, what you want to do is you want to make your mornings as bright as possible, even if it's just a small step, okay? Just allow your body to know that it's morning. Okay, this is literally the golden hour of sleep success. So don't miss it. Get out there, inshallah. Stand by your window if you have to. Still better than nothing. Because it's going to tell your brain, this is morning. Let's set the body clock. This is when our day starts. And when the evening hits, and I know it's difficult, especially if you've got kids fasting and there's all that excitement and it's so eagerly anticipated that moment when we can break our fast, alhamdulillah. Try to keep things as calm as possible. Try to keep your lights dim. You can have that whole Ramadan vibe thing that they talk about now, and you see all these social media influences, having the candles and the lanterns, right? They make sense at this time. Okay? Try to avoid having your screens at their brightest settings. You can switch your screens to red. There's so many things you can do to reduce the impact of what your body is sensing at that time of day. And this is so important because light does more to that sleep hormone, melatonin, than food does in these circumstances. Okay, in this situation of Ramadan, where we know that the food is going to be coming into the system at the opposite times, that has less of an impact than what your body is sensing in terms of light. So it's a really important point. The second step is to calm your nervous system before you go to sleep. Okay, I know at the end of Taraweeh, we want to get home, we just want to get in bed, we want to quickly get to sleep. Maybe you've got work the next day, maybe kids have got school. There's all of that stuff going on. You're thinking about the next day as well. Maybe you're even thinking ahead, oh my God, I haven't done anything for Eid, whatever. But this is where you need to calm the body down. And you can't think yourself to sleep, right? The body has to feel those signals of safety, especially during Ramadan when everything is so out of routine. And you can try this really simple stay safe breathing technique. Okay, what you do is you lay down, you're ready for bed, you close your eyes, you put one of your hands on your heart, and you put one hand on your stomach. Just make sure that you're feeling really relaxed. And you take an inhale into your nose for 4 counts, and you exhale for 6. And you do it slowly. So we'll practice one breath right now. Do it with me, inshallah. Inhale through your nose for 4 counts. And slowly breathe out. The longer exhale is going to quickly bring the body to a sense of relaxation. Okay, do it a few times until you really feel like your mind is switched off, inshallah. And as you are doing it, ask Allah, make dua that this sleep that you're having is restorative, so you have the strength for ibadah tomorrow. And doing this shifts your body from feeling like I'm just managing Ramadan to making your body feel like I'm supported through Ramadan. That's all your body wants. Just wants to know that you have its back. And have you noticed, ladies, in Ramadan, that you don't tend to need to eat a lot to feel satisfied? Right? You could have a very small meal and alhamdulillah, you find yourself feeling full. This is the same with supporting your body to heal. It doesn't need to be this big thing that you need to do. It's just those small, consistent steps where you are showing up for you that really make the difference. Okay? We don't need to burden ourselves further in Ramadan. Right? Your body wants to just know that you are giving it somewhere to lean on during a time when you want your body to perform at its peak. If you have a routine that understands the rhythm, that's something that's going to get you much further in Ramadan with more strength than being, really rigid. So what you want to do is not force yourself into submission, right? Stop focusing on, oh my God, I didn't sleep enough. I'm so tired, right? Just ask yourself, did I rest consistently? So maybe in Ramadan, you need to set up a pattern in your day that your body recognizes. It might be something like a daytime schedule that includes light exposure and some rest. It might have during the evening times a wind down ritual that starts to prepare you for sleep, starts to prepare you for a sleep that is healing, even if it's short. Okay? Simple things, just simplify it. Now, during Ramadan, we want to increase in good, right? Of course we do, because none of us are guaranteed another one. So prepare well, sisters. Like, start taking these steps. Don't just come into it haphazard. When you know what blessings there are in it, what we can recoup, we can make up for a lifetime's worth of ibadah. So start taking these steps, inshallah. Because when your sleep is messed up, energy becomes the currency. Trying to do everything all at once is just going to lead to you feeling guilty. It's going to lead to you feeling overwhelmed, and you're just going to have these emotional crashes. The only way that you're going to make the most of this month is to have a level of preparedness, both practically and physically. That might look like mornings where you deal with the kids, the meals, the house, and some rest and Quran after Asr. Okay, but that is your consistent thing that you do. And whatever works, okay, just whatever works for your family, but be prepared, be planned, planning things out. The consistency is what's going to matter. And we are so blessed, alhamdulillah, that so many things can count as ibadah. It doesn't have to be these big things. Set your intention right, support your body, and then strive with a level of flexibility. Many women do end up feeling like I'm missing out on all the good in Ramadan. I don't get to go to the masjid, I hardly get to read any Quran, and I'm exhausted at the end of the day, right? And they think, oh, maybe I should be stronger. They think, why am I struggling when others aren't? Okay. The thing to realize is if you are low in energy, if you are feeling that fatigue now, right, it's nothing to do with your iman. It's often a lack of a physiological support, because the right support and preparation is going to make the body feel safer. That's when your heart is going to be able to take more things in. It's going to soften, right? The mind becomes more quiet. You're going to take those mini opportunities you have for reflection and dua. And that small amount of sleep you're going to get, it's going to be more deeper, inshallah. Because Ramadan isn't supposed to be draining us. It's an opportunity for us to realign ourselves, to really reflect. And it could be an opportunity for us to land ourselves in Jannah, inshallah. So as we move forward towards the starting point of this blessed month, remember that those that will get the most out of it are the ones who prep with the right things. And honestly, alhamdulillah, it's the time of year that I really look forward to, especially with all the work that I've been doing with the ladies. Because in Ramadan, they can see just how much the fruits of their labor look like. Now, when that body is under pressure in this situation, like Ramadan, they realize just how much more their body can do because they've supported their systems. They've showed up for themselves. They feel young again in Ramadan with strength to increase in their ibadah. Because our health, the first place it should show up should be our ibadah. What's the point of good health if it doesn't help us in our worship? And I can sit here all day long and try to prove this to you, to prove to you that it works because it's worked for me. But now I'm going to share with you what others have also said who have taken these steps before Ramadan and how it impacted them. So this sister, she lives in a warmer climate. And I said, are you feeling a difference with the fasting since making changes? And she said, yes, I don't get thirsty anymore. In fact, I even managed a Pilates session. So she was managing to do a strenuous workout, which was a real struggle for her. And she didn't even get thirsty. And this is a really important testimonial. So if we have the before section here, where this sister said, last Ramadan, I was struggling to make the most of it. I was in constant pain from fibromyalgia and osteoarthritis. And I was sorry, and struggling with severe fatigue meant that I couldn't prepare food to the best of my ability. Couldn't stay up at night for ibadah. Trying to focus on reciting the Quran was extremely difficult. Couldn't invite anyone over for iftar because I wasn't able to prepare any food for them. Something I used to really enjoy doing in the past. As the months went on, my health got progressively worse until I could no longer walk. Fast forward now into the program. This was around 4 to 5 months into the program when Ramadan came. And she said, this Ramadan has been the complete opposite, Alhamdulillah. My biggest accomplishments are hosting a beautiful iftar and being able to feed others who have been fasting, focusing on reciting Quran and not losing focus. And I have actually been able to go out and do some Eid shopping. From not being able to walk to walking around pain-free for 2 hours. Not only is my health better, but I'm also able to increase in ibadah. Alhamdulillah, I do feel that this Ramadan has been one of the most fruitful. And this sister, I've lost 2 kilos since the start of Ramadan. That has never happened to me before. It's amazing since I haven't really switched my eating. And this sister, I do have a lot more energy, Alhamdulillah, compared to last year in Ramadan when I would get completely drained after iftar and not be able to pray Taraweeh. So Alhamdulillah, that's a good sign. So just one of many. I didn't want to bore you guys with more testimonials here, but Alhamdulillah, there's a consistent sign from the ladies who have gone through the program and it is showing up in their ibadah. And Alhamdulillah, that is good enough for me. So if you do want your Ramadan to be looking a bit better, if you do want to change in your health and you want to have that boost long term, then post Ramadan, inshallah, after Ramadan, I'm going to be having a very special offer. And if that is something that you are interested in, reach out and jump onto the waiting list, inshallah. I look forward to hearing from you. As always, be proactive and not reactive with your health. Jazakallah khair for being here live. Take care, inshallah. I will speak to you soon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.